and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reacting to and breaking down Evil Season 2, Episode 12. D is for Dolls. Now listen, I hate children's toys. Children's toys are creepy as fuck, and the main one of those would be dolls, okay? I watch a movie with, like, dolls, like, possessed dolls or whatever, and I go back to, like, oh, fuck, what was that movie in the 80s that spawned, like, a gajillion sequels? I think it was, like, I think it was not Blumhouse, but it was, like, a small production company like that. Doll Master? Was that what it was? I'm recording on my phone, so I can't Google. You know what? Here. I've got a computer in front of me. Let's Google. Is that what it was? That's giving me some sort of Asian thing. Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking. It was an 80s doll movie. It's gonna bother me. I gotta find it. I gotta find it. Nope, not Child's Play. It's giving me a whole bunch now. Making it work. What the hell was that? The one doll had a drill head. The one was like, I don't know, there was like a sexy one that like spit leeches everywhere. There was one that had like a hook. He was my favorite. The hell was that? Give me the movie. Puppet Master. Puppet Master. That's what it was. That's where I go to when I see things like Annabelle, all that shit. I go to Puppet Master, okay? That movie, the first one now. I'm not talking about the other ones. I don't even think I've seen the other ones. Puppet Master, the first one, I saw when I was like, fucking like 11 or some shit. It was great. I have never seen it since. I should do a rewatch on that. Let me know what you think. Anyways, this one is called Dolls. So, diving right in. When Kristen stops by Dr. Boggs, she goes in to apologize for her absolute batshit craziness the last time we saw them together. She was accusing him of conspiring with her mother, all kinds of stuff. But she comes back and tells him that she's really sorry, but she's feeling much better, that she hasn't had any hallucinations in like days, and that she wants to reschedule an appointment and continue seeing him. Boggs thinks this is great. He accepts her apology and agrees, yes, we need to continue with our therapy, whatever. And he's more than happy to continue with that. He is just elated, right? But he also mentions to her that he has this friend that she wants her to speak with. And when she meets up with him, this friend, Nathan, explains to her that his wife died a year ago from heart disease, that she was only 44, and he is afraid that his grief has opened a sort of door to something. He's been sensing like a presence in the house and has seen like a shadow figure, a shadow man. And at first it was like all around him, and now it seems to be targeting his son Eli. And I think he was explaining that he believes, the dad believes, that the shadow figure somehow broke Elijah's arm. Did I say Eli? Elijah, I think, is his name. I think that's what the father was trying to explain, and the Boggs is under the impression that the dad somehow mistakenly, accidentally broke his kid's arm. But he says that Elijah was alone when it happened, and he says that he felt like he was pushed. So, like, he didn't fall or whatever. He said that he was like, or jump. He said he was like pushed. And now he says it feels like there's bugs crawling around underneath his skin. Nathan attributes a mark on his son's ceiling to water damage. And so Ben heads up to the attic to check it out. And there's like this horrible smell, and, you know, the other two David and Kristen end up joining Ben up in the attic. David also kind of finds out that Boggs wants to write a book about the team. And the team's like, yeah, no, we don't want any part of that. And so after Boggs brings that little tidbit up, everybody's like, fuck it, we're all going up to the attic. This is awkward. we're not addressing this. We're going to the attic. When they get up there, there's a chest, and inside the chest, and the chest is like all chained shut and whatever. Inside the chest is a box, and inside the box is a doll that looks like it could be Eddie's brother. Shall we say. Eddie, if you don't remember, is the doll that Cheryl prays to. They look very similar. The doll was Nathan's wife's, and Nathan says that it had rules. If you don't do what Eddie wants, he hurts you. So this doll's name is also Eddie. Apparently that's the line of dolls. They're all named Eddie, and they're all dressed in different costumes. I don't know. Elijah's arm bothers him so much that he ends up cutting his cast off, and in turn injuring his arm in such a way that he ends up going to the hospital needing surgery on the arm. Meanwhile, Ben discovers that there was a toxic chemical on the doll, and he uses that. He uses an ultraviolet light to search for traces of this in the boy's room. In doing this, he uncovers 3 shadows on the wall, each demonic and progressively scarier, until we see one with a really long tongue licking down toward the bed. It's really kind of ishy. I also want to mention that when they found this doll in the attic, on top of the smell, there was some sort of weird jelly goo in the bottom of this chest that absolutely nobody acknowledges. And if you look closely at Ben's hands as Ben's like unwrapping this doll, his hands are like damp. Rather than bringing in a priest to exorcise the room, the Monsignor insists a trained layman named Gregory can handle it. Gregory is a very odd dude, okay? And David does not like this guy at all. After he does his thing, he claims the house to be safe, but Boggs has an interesting encounter in the hallway with George. So, exercising the room, it's George that's haunting this room, okay? And so the exorcism doesn't work. But Nathan also hasn't shared everything. He tells the group that his wife gave Eddie gifts to keep him happy, then died 1 month after he had convinced her to stop giving the doll these gifts. He wants the doll back to see if picking up where she left off will solve the problem. The very opening of the show, in the cold opening, Sister Andrea hears that Leland wants a permanent position in the church's counseling for the possessed. In hearing this, she accidentally spills the tea over, like literal tea, on Leland. It's hilarious. She is extremely determined that David is going to be ordained. She tells him at one point, I have a gift like you have a gift. A door has been opened to us, and it comes with some responsibility, she says to him. When you're in Plato's cave and you break the restraints and you turn to the light, you can't go back. If he's having doubts, she tells him to go satisfy them because war is coming. David is still what-ifing everything, right? He's still thinking about Kristen, and all his little happy thoughts about her, and wondering whether or not she feels the same, right? The same things he's been thinking since the beginning, but hasn't voiced to anybody, right? And so David does question if his future is at the church or if it's elsewhere. But it may be a conversation to have with Kristen to get his answers, right? So he admits to her that he doesn't know if he's doing the right thing. They've been talking for a year now about everything from God to death, how to be, she says, and she tells him that he has inspired her, even though she doesn't agree with him a vast majority of the time, right? She knows he wants to be good, and so few people want that. She worries. She tells him that she worries what will happen if he turns away from the church. She also realizes that by saying this, she is being very hypocritical because she doesn't believe in the church and religion and all that kind of stuff, right? But she tells him, I think you offer balance. There are all these bad people, and I think you offer balance to them. I will confess, I like our time together, but what's more important, I realize, is you being this, a priest, different. He asks her if she wonders what it would be like if things had happened differently, if they had met before all of this, right? He asks, and she says, yes, things would be different. He asks her, would we be in love? And she nods. But then she walks over to him, puts her hand on his chest, and tells him, go get ordained, before she walks out of the room. Like, wow. I'm not sure how to take that. That's kind of like, it's kind of like a cock tease and kind of noble all at the same time. I don't know. I feel very torn with that. And by the look on David's face, so is he. We see Kristen's daughter Lynn babysitting for a kid whose friend always picks the games. And she discovers during a game of hide and seek that the friend is a creepy doll sitting in the dark. He told me not to move, so I can't play. I'm really sorry, the boy tells her. What's worse, that doll hitches a ride home with Lynn in her bag. When the kid's parents stop by looking for it, Kristen says Lynn doesn't have the doll. Her daughter admits to her, though, that she does. But then she can't find it. Like she says, I think she thinks the boy put the doll in her bag because he's scared of it, right? And the parents are thinking this is like his security blanket, right? His emotional support doll that he just absolutely cannot sleep without, right? But in reality, yeah, he is afraid of this doll, right? And so Lynn believes that he put it in her backpack to get rid of it. And when she goes to get it, to give it to Kristen so that she can give it back to the parents, they can't find the fucking doll. Later that night, Lexus realizes that Laura took it. And after seeing it, she thinks it's Cheryl's Eddie. She grabs the doll and brings it out to the garage, and she puts it on Cheryl's altar and starts praying like her grandmother does. Like she does this whole thing, right? The room starts shaking, and the girls flip out, start screaming. And as they run out, we realize that it's that train that keeps going by. Meanwhile, Cheryl drops her granddaughters off at school, where Edward joins her, her silver fox friend. He followed her, he says, and she tells him that that's sinister, but goes along with, you know, whatever game it is. He gives her a proposition to play this sort of, he explains it to her as like a game. Like, you give me two things, I'll give you one, right? So the proposal of the game is, yeah, if she does two things that he asks, he'll give her one thing that's invaluable. The first is he has her join him in a business meeting wearing sunglasses while working on a puzzle. And when he says daffodil, she is to get up, go to the man on the other side of the room, and then like bitch slap the guy. So she does it. The other one was they go to a bar. She does it a couple of times. They go to a bar, and through the course of their conversation at the bar, again he mentions a daffodil. And she gets up and brings this random guy. To us, it's a random guy. I don't know. But she brings this man an STD test result in the middle of his dinner at this restaurant. And I think his wife is there. She makes a comment like, oh, is this the wife? Don't worry, it's fine. So what does she get as a result of complying with this game? Okay. She's told she gets the greatest lesson of all, her inner strength. She just mollywops Edward. It's so funny. She just right across his face. He's like, no, I'm kidding. He's like rubbing his jaw, like I'm joking. Girl, relax. And he gives her an actual wrapped present. Inside the box is the head of his great-grandfather, preserved in a jar. I mean, it's like this big. It's like one of those shrunken head things. It's fucking weird. His family, he explains his family always wanted to keep a piece of their patriarch close to them and pass it down through generations. Now she is his successor. This is your sigil, he explains. And she accepts it. Cool. She takes a look at the map of sigils, right? The one that she had copied and given to Leland. And finds that one of the sigils looks like this head. When she turns to her altar for Eddie, she is surprised to see a new doll there. She takes hers out and places it next to it. Then she draws a cross on the floor and puts the jar on a stand where the lines intersect. And she says, Father. Puts one of the Eddie dolls down and says, Son. Then the other doll and says, Holy Ghost. With that, she begins praying and she says, I'm ready. Use me. I don't know what's up with that, but she's kneeling there praying and she kind of puts her head, I think her eyes are closed, so I don't think she sees it, but she kind of puts her head up a little bit and the camera goes up and we see Mary. I think that's her. Listen, I'm not religious, okay? I don't know. I think her name is Mary, you know, Jesus' mom. We see her, okay? Like, yeah. And I believe, if memory serves, it's like on like a, I don't know, a shelf or whatever. It's like a statue thing. I don't know, a bust, whatever. And I think, if I remember correctly, from the way that the angle of the camera is, it looks like she is looking down at Cheryl, and Cheryl is praying and kind of chin up a little bit. Like, it's an interesting shot. It's a very interesting shot. Her storyline is getting dark, like dark. I have said it before and I'll say it again. I don't like the character of Cheryl. I really don't. I don't know. She just doesn't jive with me in any way, shape, or form. But she has these moments where she is funny as fuck. Like when she's belittling Leland, it's friggin' hilarious. When she mollywops Edward, it's fantastic. And then she does these creepy things like praying to the doll or this whole thing with the sigil and whatever. Like, I mean, but again, she's wearing red when a lot of this weird kind of fuck shit happens, right? So there is still something with the red. Anywho. And can I also say that I love that Sister Andrea was back. Listen, our little angel on our shoulder, we love her. We love Sister Andrea. We need more of her. She's so cute. Literally spilling the tea on Leland. He's like side-eyeing her the whole time, and she's side-eyeing him right back. Like, they're just hilarious. And I love that we saw George again. And the way that he literally just kind of boops Boggs on the nose and like leaves this weird sort of ashy mark that Kristen calls out. You've got a little something right here. He is shook. He is shook to the core. Poor Boggs, man. Are you sure you want to follow these guys around and write a book? Like, you might want to rethink that, my guy. This was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It flew by. This one and the last one just flew right by for me. So we have one more episode left of season 2. Let's see. I can't wait. But I enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this as well. And I hope you're just as much looking forward to the last one as I am. I'm thoroughly enjoying this show. Having said that, until next time, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one.